I don't consider myself an expert in many areas in life, but if there are any subjects which I am highly qualified in, they would be sticky spamming in Team Fortress 2 and cute anime girls. In this video, I'm going to try and share as much knowledge as I can in order to provide as close to a complete guide to cute anime girls as I am capable of. I'll start by giving an introduction to some fundamental concepts, a brief history lesson, and some pointers for those who have a burgeoning interest. But as we go on, I'll get deeper and deeper, through the intermediate stages of degeneracy all the way to the most obscure depths. So even if you consider yourself knowledgeable on the subject, stick around till the end because there's a good chance you can learn something. Oh, and I'll be giving out recommendations throughout, so you'll definitely come away from this video with something new to watch. Before we can do any of that though, I need to establish some terminology and categories, which will require a quick history lesson. When I say cute anime girls, we are talking about something different than sexy or physically attractive anime girls. I'm also using the term anime girls to refer to 2D characters in general. They don't necessarily have to be from anime specifically, they could be from other mediums too. The idea of having attractive female characters in your animations is almost as old as animation itself. Being an animator is not a job that's exactly conducive to having a blossoming social life. It requires years of practice holed up in your room drawing just to build up the base craft required to land a job in the first place, and then the job itself consists of the extremely repetitive and isolating task of just drawing pictures that are very slightly different from the last picture you drew all day every day. Animation being traditionally a male-dominated profession, women were generally more likely to work in the coloring departments while men drew the key animation. One can imagine how an environment of socially stunted and lonely men with only their animation pads and pencils to express themselves might tend to take out their romantic fantasies in the form of drawing sexualized female characters. And this trend is far from unique to Japan. I mean, Cool World exists. That's a story I've heard before, and while it may have a grain of truth to it, it's also definitely not the full picture. Isn't it also true that live-action movies and TV shows tend to have unrealistic beauty standards for their main actors? Those sexiest man/woman alive lists almost all consist exclusively of Hollywood actors, so it seems to me it's just a matter of sex sells. For anime in particular, we need to go way back in order to find the delineation between merely attractive female characters and the modern conception of the cute anime girl. Although there were fandoms around earlier female characters such as Meteru from Ginga Tetsudo 39 beforehand, the first cute girl to really gain traction was undoubtedly Lum from Urusei Yatsura. The impact and cultural staying power of Lum can't be understated. She still gets fan art regularly to this day. It's no exaggeration to say that without Lum and Urusei Yatsura, we wouldn't have many staples of otaku culture such as cosplay, at least not in the same way we do now. Lum and the new otaku culture which revered her were the spawning ground for Daikon Film, the first anime studio which was created independently by otaku rather than being descended from the original Tezuka productions. Daikon's original shorts show a clear focus on distinctly cute girl protagonists. The lead character of Daikon 3 is an elementary school student, as indicated by her Randoseru backpack. Or take a look at this cut in Daikon 4 where the main character flexes her muscles. Despite the bunny girl outfit, this isn't sexy, it's adorable. It gives me the same feeling as looking at a cute kitten. And I ain't Shane Dawson. This shift in focus towards younger characters who are cute rather than sexy is indicative of what would eventually evolve to become known as moe. Moe is famously hard to define, but it seems like it would be best explained as something like the feeling of wanting to protect this smile. Daikon Films would later rebrand themselves as Gainax and go on to produce all this shit that you've already heard about while disappearing from the script because we need to talk about magical girls and visual novels. Magical girl, or Mahou Shoujo as a genre, was born in the 60s with Himitsu no Akko-chan and Mahotsukai Sally, but it would undergo a revolution in the 90s when it was combined with tropes from the also popular Henshin Hero Tokusatsu genre. Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura took the aesthetics and themes of Magical Girl and combined it with a stronger focus on interpersonal drama and action-packed fights from Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. While there had previously been some adult fans of older Magical Girl shows, it was these two shows in particular which drew in a larger fanbase of adult male otaku. Just like the Daikon shorts a decade earlier, the combination of cute girls and action-packed fights was a recipe for otaku success. The art style and character design in these shows took influence from pre-existing patterns in shoujo manga, but simplified and accentuated the designs, making the eyes bigger, the face more rounded, and the expressions cuter. On the other hand, in 1997, the principal appendage of the stem of a vascular plant had the genius idea to combine the branching plot structure of popular adventure games like Yuno and Police Notes or whatever with the premise and setting of dating sims like Tokimemo or Dokusei to create Two Heart, the first modern visual novel, after a few attempts. Likely inspired by the success of Two Heart, Jun Maeda and Hisaya Naoki would shift away from the dating sim system to create Moon and One, Kagayaku Kisetsu-e, then break off to form developer Key with their debut Canon in 1999. One can easily see the similarity in terms of proportions between the art styles of something like One with Cardcaptor Sakura. And with that, the stage was set for the moe boom of the 2000s. By my arbitrary judgment, the first TV anime series that I would personally recognize as distinctly moe all aired in 2001, those being Sister Princess, Kokoro Toshokan, and Maho Romantic. Although, if you stretch the definition a little bit, I could accept moving that date back 1 year if you want to include Handmaid May, which toes the line between being a more standard magical girlfriend show, which has been around throughout the 90s, but with elements approaching something I would call moe. Also, if you include magical girl anime, then the first moe show is probably Cardcaptor Sakura. But excluding magical girl to focus on late night anime, which is really what I see as true moe, those three shows seem to me like the birth of late night moe anime. Maho Romantic could also be argued to fit more into the magical girlfriend genre, just with moe elements, but Kokoro Toshokan and Sister Princess are both distinctly moe, both in art style and themes, and they represent the two archetypes that would go on to dominate cute girls or bishoujo focused anime in the 2000s. Sister Princess is a harem show, but compared to modern harem anime, you're going to find a few particular differences. For example, the size of the cast. Harem shows in the 2000s often had much larger casts rather than the 3 or 4 girls per harem which we tend to see these days. Also, each girl tends to have just 1 or 2 specific traits, meant to appeal to a micro niche of otaku. In this way, early 2000s harem shows tend to cast a wide net by trying to have as many ultra-specific heroines as possible, compared to more modern harem shows which tend to have smaller casts of more well-rounded characters. On the other hand, Kokoro Toshokan is the first cute girls doing cute things anime. That's right, it wasn't Azumanga Daioh, see, you're learning something. This is a genre name that was created in the West. In Japan, you're more likely to hear this kind of show referred to as Nichijou-kei, which I would translate directly as everyday core, but it pretty much means the same thing as slice of life. Slice of life shows on the one hand and harem on the other go on to be the two main genres of moe anime, and by my estimation, harem dominating the first half of the 2000s and slice of life conquering the latter half. The 2000s was also the golden age of the visual novel adaptation, a genre which has practically vanished from existence in the modern era. In 2004, Azumanga Daioh codifies the 4 cute girls in high school template that would go on to define slice of life anime to this day, while Nanoha proves that cute girls plus big fight scenes is still as popular a formula as ever. Then 2006 rolls around and we get another revolution, with Haruhi coming out and instantly becoming the biggest thing ever with its blending of moe and harem tropes with a stronger focus on plot, meta-commentary, more subtle interpersonal drama, and higher production value animation. After this, moe starts more and more to blend into the rest of anime until by the late 2000s and early 2010s, it becomes hard to draw a clear distinction around what is specifically moe. As the 2010s continue, the term moe itself begins to fall out of usage in Japan, and what was previously a novel and distinct aesthetic and thematic genre comes to be indistinguishable from just anime as a whole. Another shift in the moe art style, with flatter colors and sketchier, looser outlines exemplified in shows like Yamano Susume and Do It Yourself, began to show up on the outskirts of anime. And then in 2020, Eizouken became possibly the first post-moe anime, taking the genre tropes and art style and evolving it into a completely new direction. So now you know the entire history of cute anime girls. The question is, where do you start? If you're completely new to this side of anime, but let's say you've seen a few shows with some cute girl characters like maybe Botan from Yu Yu Hakusho and thought you wanted more of that, what's a good entry point into the slightly more hardcore bishoujo focused side of anime? Well, in my opinion, you should start off with a more action-focused show, Kill la Kill. This might acclimatize you to a show with a primarily cute girl female cast, but still being the kind of anime that pretty much anyone can get into. But if you think you're ready for something a little more hardcore, maybe you've already seen Bocchi the Rock or something, I'd say you can't get much better of an introduction than K-On! K-On! Is pretty grounded as far as cute girls anime go. It has Yamada Naoko's excellent directing, brought to life by the immaculate animation chops of Studio Kyoto Animations. Plus, unlike some shows further down the iceberg, there's still a little bit more of an overarching plot to keep you watching, and some moments towards the end which are liable to make you cry. If you've just finished K-On!, liked it, and are wondering what to watch next, I have a pro tip for you. In Japan, most manga are published in manga magazines. You've probably already heard of Shonen Jump, that's the most popular one. These magazines have certain themes. Shonen Jump is all shonen stuff, for example. And when it comes to moe or bishoujo focused stuff, pretty much everything good comes from Manga Time Kirara or one of its spin-offs. So, if you're ever in the mood for a cute girls doing cute things anime, you can just go on Wikipedia and look up any of the Kirara magazines and check out the anime adaptations section. You're likely to find something good. But if you're just looking for some quick recommendations for beginners, you'll enjoy Lucky Star, Yugushiki, Bocchi the Rock, and Azumanga Daioh. For those of you who are already in the know and want something a little bit more hardcore, don't worry, you've come to the right place. If you watched a few slice of life shows and are ready for something maybe a little bit more out there, it's time for you to sit your ass down and experience The GOAT, Hidamari's Sketch, my personal favorite anime of all time. For those ready to get really down and dirty and the purest, most diabetes sweet moe directly shot into your eyeballs, Gochumon wa Usagi desu ka, aka Gochiusa, is your answer. Okay, you were expecting something a little more obscure than that, some shit that only I have seen. Don't worry, I got you. Check out Binzume Yosei, Kokoro Toshokan, maybe a little bit of Mug Cup, maybe a touch of Ochikobore Fruit Tart, maybe go ahead and peep some Sketchbook Full Colors, some GA Art Design class, maybe a touch of Tamayura for some more Iyashikei type vibes. Iyashikei, by the way, means healing. It refers to shows that are very slow and relaxed with a stronger focus on atmosphere over plot. Another example would be Aria. If you're already at this level, then congratulations, you're a degenerate first of all, but secondly, it's time you branch out beyond the cute girls doing cute things genre, and beyond anime itself. You remember Manga Time Kirara? Go read some of the Kirara manga that don't have anime adaptations. I'll recommend you Yumeguri Yuri Meguri as a good starting point, but if you want to stick with anime, then there's no better place to go into than Magical Girls. Check out Cardcaptor Sakura, Ojamajo Doremi, and Saint October. There, that should keep you busy for a while. What? You're back? You've already seen those shows? Okay, go watch Fushigi Maho Fun Pharmacy, Anyamaru Tantei Kiruminzu, and Fushigi Boshi no Futago Hime. Didn't know about those, did you? See, I know my shit. Okay, but maybe Magical Girls don't do it for you. That's fine, I get it. The other place to go for your fix of cute girls is into the wild and wacky domain of visual novels, also known as eroge, or if you're in polite company, garuge or bishoujoge. By the way, if you're new to visual novels, I don't recommend buying them off Steam if you do intend to buy rather than summoning through illicit means. Now, I'm a big advocate of piracy generally speaking, but when it comes to eroge, I genuinely recommend giving the creators money if you can afford it. These are small studios in a dying medium who need the cash, plus it indicates the market for English translations. To pay for eroge, you should go to the websites Manga Gamer or Just USA. The creators get a bigger cut compared to Steam, and you get the full versions directly rather than having to install an 18+ patch on a Steam version. Both sites have regular sales and are easy to use. Plus, Manga Gamer might be the first time you remember what a real website is supposed to look like since 2008. Within the realm of visual novels, just like anime, the most hardcore cute girls focused stuff tends to be less popular than the more broad appeal plot focused games. We refer to plot focused games as plot gay and moe focused games as moe gay. Very creative naming schemes, I know. I'd say Fruits of Grisaya is probably a good place to start with visual novels coming from this side of anime, at the very least the common route. Oh yeah, so visual novels are divided up into two sections, the common route, and then after you make some choices, individual character routes which split off. In my opinion, Grisaya's common route is like the best slice of life anime ever. But then the character roots go all plot and melodrama heavy and get a bit high on their own supply, so personally I'm kind of hesitant to recommend Grisaya. But that being said, everyone else seems to love it, so maybe I'm the weird one. Beyond that, as I said, moege, just like moe anime, tend to be a bit more niche and often kind of derided as slop, so I found it a little bit hard to actually find good moege recommendations. However, the undisputed place to go for moege is the studio Uzusoft. In my opinion, Son of a Witch and Senden Banka are their best titles, so start with those. Personally, I don't think Uzusoft games are anything mind-blowing, but they are consistent. You always know going in that you're going to get something pretty good with Uzusoft. Hey, do you like Gochi-Usa? If so, check out Koi ni Kami o Soete, Sugar Ten, and Amaero Chocolate. All three are blatant rip-offs of Gochi-Usa, but in eroge form, and they're all surprisingly good. And if you want a good hit of that early 2000s and even late 90s true original pure moe, your best bets, in my opinion, are Shuffle and DC Da Capo. Both were very popular back in their day, and for good reason. They also both have pretty bad anime adaptations, which I recommend avoiding. Generally avoid eroge anime adaptations. They're trying to squash 20 to 60 hours of visual novel with co-current roots into 4 to 8 hours of anime with just one chronological timeline. It's just kind of a hard task. I mean, Steins Gate proves that it can be done well, but all too often it just ends poorly. That being said, if you don't speak Japanese, sometimes anime adaptations are the only way to experience some classic titles like Two Heart and Comic Party, as the originals remain untranslated. Eroge and magical girl anime are truly the final form of bishoujo otakudom, as you can see from depictions of hardcore otaku in anime. Almost always, otaku characters in anime might talk about staying up late to watch anime, but more often than not when it comes to their obsessions, it tends to be eroge and or mahou shoujo. For example, look at Kirino from Oraimo. You might think this scene with the giant stack of eroge is an exaggeration for the sake of comedic effect, but I found this random YouTube video of a real otaku with an even more impressive eroge tower.
で、ちょっとまた普通でないところに戻ると、エロゲタワーが完成しています。
In fact, looking through images and videos of otaku rooms or itabeya from the 2000s till today, you're more likely to find eroge posters and tapestries rather than anime adorning the walls. To ascend to the true heights, or maybe descend to the depths of otaku, eroge is what you'll find at the bottom. I wish I could give you some more obscure, maybe untranslated recommendations, but alas, I'm only human, and reading eroge takes a long time compared to blasting through 3 12-episode TV anime in a day. But I'll give a quick shout out to Clover Days and Magical Marriage Lunatics as a couple more pretty solid moege recommendations which I feel might sneak under the radar. Okay, that's it from me. Have fun dissolving into a puddle of moe.